microwave special. This is a child who's learning and developing and growing. And, their understanding as their brain develops is changing. And if you look at the growth and development stages, you will recognize the very thing that you're like, I don't know why my child, right? When you look at these things, because they've actually studied a number of children, and all children are not the same. I say that. I also say that all children are special and all children have needs. So we talk about special needs, right? All of them are special. They all have needs. And they need us. And so it's like, don't let the things that are not so important get to you. And I think right now people are really getting to see what's not so important. Yes, having a job is important, but also listening and saying, maybe I don't need to be out there because I don't want to put my family or my child in harm's way, or maybe I need to be inside, and maybe I need to turn off the Wi-Fi. Maybe I need to watch how long they're on these pieces of equipment, and I get it because they're inside now like this. You probably need a break, parents. And so, but still, we have to keep working at it and saying, okay, well, today they were on it, but tomorrow I'm going to do something with them. I'm going to, like I was saying with my daughter, we're going to make some cards, even if you make like little multiplication cards and you say, we're going to color them. Let's put flowers on them. So, 3 times 5, let's do, 5 rows, you know what I'm saying, like 3 times 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 flowers and 3 rows of that. So you equals 15, but make it cute, make it fun, make it something that you do together. Are they going to listen all the time? No. But as we focus on what's the most important thing, knowing that you're there with your family and those people who are, in the hospitals, we continue to pray for them, that they will be okay, that the people in the hospitals will be okay. Things have shifted. You know what I noticed? I want to say on some of the posts, it just seems like someone put up a podcast or a post or something, and they were just talking about their childhood and how when they were younger, the mom and the dad, the mom didn't tell the dad or tell them something about their dad, and the dad wasn't there, and all of this. And then it turned into a post where it became, and I don't want to stay on this tonight because I feel like I want to come back to this, but I don't want to do it on this podcast because I don't want it to get lost. But this whole thing around women not allowing their children to see their dads and probably vice versa. And it's tough in this world. Like, people make these blanket statements, these blankets that are supposed to cover everything and anyone. And it's supposed to be the same response for everybody. And it's not that way. And the ones who I noticed are kind of like, well, no, that's not always the best thing. Those are the ones who sometimes people fuss at. And, I keep saying this, like, gosh, did we all become cousins that people can just talk to people the way that they do? And they've never met them, never seen them before. It's very interesting. How about that? But either way, I just want to say to you, your life has probably changed like so many other people. And you may not feel the best right now, and you may be wondering and trying to figure it out. I was looking at this picture about 2 days ago, I think, of these 2 great big hands, and I feel like there were 2 or 3 sparrows in these hands. And it reminded me of that scripture across in the Bible that talks about, if God can take care of the sparrow and we are his children, like, how much more do you think he can take care of you? Sometimes we have to, by faith or just, by relationship, like, Daddy, I need your help. You ever go like, Daddy God, please help me. It's got to be that up close and personal. It's got to be that personal so that you don't feel like you're alone, like you're abandoned, or like he's abandoned ship. He has not abandoned ship. What we see, yeah, it's very concerning. It's alarming for some people. But I feel like, and I know, and I'll tell you from me as I read and focus and meditate on the Bible and on the scriptures and on the real life stories of people who have encountered. This is not the first time that there was a so-called pandemic, or the first time that some type of enemy was trying to do things to infiltrate and all kind of stuff. It's not the first time. It's just when it happens in our generation, when it happens to us, it seems like it's the worst thing ever. But let's think about a family. Let's think about a husband to a wife, about a father to their children. If you're a dad, and maybe you haven't had that relationship with your child yet, but I still want you to just think about it. How when things don't go the way that they want them to, right? And something happens and, all right, I'm going to use a bug. Let me use a bug. Like, who likes bugs? Some people do. They study them, but most of us don't like them. But let's say there's a, what is it? A water bug, which is another name, or a palmetto bug. People say that. Oh, there's a palmetto. Listen, that's a giant cockroach. That's what it is. It's a big giant cockroach, right? And so it's like, it's a fancy word for it. It's a delicacy to some people. And so anyway, so dad's in one room, right? He doesn't see that this bug is going towards his wife and his children. And all of a sudden you hear the wife go, ah, right? She screams at the top of her lungs, ah, ah. And he's just like, oh my gosh, honey, what's wrong? What's the matter? He kind of knows what's wrong sometimes, because maybe that's the same scream he heard before when she felt that she was in trouble and she needed his help, right? And then the children are in there, Daddy, it's a bug, right? And so he goes to their rescue. Here comes Pops to the rescue. And he goes and he looks and he's like, okay, I got it. He just goes and takes his big old shoe off and just slaps the thing, knocks it dead, kills it, whatever, and picks it up and it's like, all right, y'all, it's okay. How many times have we gotten to the point where we felt like, just like that dad, you don't see him, he's in the other room, where we felt like God is in the other, he's somewhere else. He doesn't see that there's this big thing that's walking towards us, or this big thing that's happening. And it's not true. He does see. He does see. And as we call on him, the rescue that we see sometimes, it's not always the same. It doesn't always happen the way that we think it would, or that it should, or that it could. Think about that. If you're a person who prays and you've prayed and your loved one has transitioned, I've been there. I had to reason with that. Even Jesus himself, Jesus wept. And so have I, and probably so have you. But we still get to call on him. Just because we don't see him and he's in the other room doesn't mean that he doesn't hear our cry. Doesn't mean that. And so just take these times, take these moments. Any place, sometimes we as parents too, I'm going to tell you the truth, we feel a bit inadequate, right? A lot of people who never thought they were going to have to school from home, do schooling from home, are like, I don't even know what this is. Some people have to work from home. I'm trying to work from home. I'm trying to take care of my kid. I'm trying to do this. I need to do that. And it just starts to feel like it's a bit much. But if we could just carve out a specific time of the day to focus on what's really important, which is family. Some people, it's hard. Like, they always thought their job was going to be there. Now it's not. But they get to have family. And so the frustration comes from being uncertain about these bills and about how you're going to pay your rent, how you're going to live, and different things like that. And yeah, if the resources are out there, go for the resources. Get the help, right, that you can. But we have to try not to let those things, the obscure things, the things that we don't seem to have much control over right now. Listen, and let me say this. For some people, that there are things that you could have done before. You've got these gifts, you've got these abilities. I was speaking to a lady the other day, and she knows how to sew, and it was like she had sewn this really awesome facial mask. My daughter's looking at something on her thing over there laughing, but it was so nice. And we were like, well, how come you can make more? Like, you can reach out to us, you can use that gift now. This is the time to do that. So focusing on what's really important. I had to even with me, I had created, done some work on my website and all that jazz. But what's really important to me is encouraging people. And so although I was like, okay, yes, I can do that. Yes, I can do that. Yes, I can do. But I enjoy being an encourager. I enjoy being a motivational speaker and motivating people and helping people to become unstuck in their thoughts. Because it kind of starts there. If you're standing somewhere, you're not going to move until you think about moving. You're not going to walk until you think about walking. You're not going to do anything different until you think about doing it first. It doesn't happen where the movement happens first. The thought happens first. I want to get up from here. I want to change this. I don't feel like being annoyed today. I don't feel like yelling today. I don't want to be frustrated, right? It's the thought that comes first. And so thinking about, even in the midst of this, what can I do differently? I've got more time to be at home with my families. And yes, they're saying stay home. Okay, stay home for whatever reason. I don't fully understand this whole thing that's going on, and I'm praying about it, because some of it is, I don't know what kind of noise or sound I can make, but I can't think of one. Some special effects. I need special effects right about now. Let me see in my effects. If I had an effect that was, how Scooby-Doo, if you ever watched that show, he used to be like, like, what kind of sense does this make, right? That's how it feels. Like, what kind of sense does this make? But I like to make y'all laugh a little bit too. Sometimes, laughter is like medicine. It's good for you. So it's kind of like that. Doesn't quite make the most sense, but yet and still, what can you do so that this doesn't ride your mind so hard? So that it doesn't become the biggest thought, that you're focused, that you focus on what's in. Okay, like, step back. Maybe you didn't have the best day with the kids today. Maybe they were cutting up, right? Because that's what kids are kids. Kids want to run. Kids want to have fun. Kids want to get that energy out, or they want to stay on the phone all day or the tablet or whatever it is and be entertained like that. And so